Hello! Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd do a get ready with me with some new makeup and also answer some of your questions because I did ask you guys a few days ago, maybe a week ago, 6 days ago, whether or not you have any questions for me because I've never done a Q&A on my channel before. I don't know why. I guess maybe I thought you'd not have any questions for me, but you have some and I think it's enough to get through all of them. So I'm gonna go through them. And we're gonna get my face ready because I've got to go to work. And today is a 37-degree day, but I am wearing a long sleeve because inside it's freezing, which really annoys me that the aircon is just turned up all the way. I think there's enough to go through all of them. So I'm gonna go through all of them and we're just gonna get ready with my face, get my face ready because obviously I ain't got any makeup on and I've got to go to work. So let's just jump into it. I'm gonna put my laptop closer to me. My desk is so messy right now. If you see it, it looks like someone has just dumped all their crap on here and I need to do a declutter, a massive declutter. I just have everything everywhere. I've literally got like 10 beauty blenders on my desk, unwashed. It's really disgusting. Anyway, okay, first question. I think we've got 9 questions, which is a good amount of questions. Cleedra says, I don't have any questions, but I have hugs for you. I'm happy you're back. Oh, that's so nice. Obviously, I have taken a break over Chinese New Year. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know why I've taken a break. I will get into that, but I've just been not quite myself recently, and I've just had to step away a little bit to give myself some rest. I'm actually project panning this, by the way, and it's almost nearly done. To be honest, I don't really like this product. It doesn't do really that much for me. Amula Rao asks, can you tell us a bit about your journey with makeup? When did you start wearing makeup? Why do you enjoy it? And so on. I got into makeup really late in my life because during high school, uni, I didn't wear any makeup at all. It wasn't a priority. I was actually a very academic person. I always had my head in the books and I literally had no life. So I did not have time for makeup. I was actually part of a choir and that's kind of where I had my first taste of makeup. So I did have to wear makeup for performance and we were actually taught how to put makeup on. We had, standard makeup that we had to wear and it was pretty awful. Like it was this just kind of really old lady dark red lipstick that we'd have to wear. I feel like it was really dated makeup. And so, I mean, I was never super into it. When I was really, really young, I used to get into my mom's makeup drawer and play around with her makeup. And she always did have makeup. My mom wore makeup and she still wears and enjoys wearing makeup to this day. So I think she did influence me to some extent, but not to the point where I was so obsessed with makeup the way I am today. Funnily enough, I met my best friend in uni. We both did French together and we both did a summer abroad in France. And I remember we were in Vichy, which is the place where they make the Vichy skincare. There was a Sephora there and she wanted to go in there to get a Bare Minerals foundation. And I was like, okay, I've never been into Sephora before. And back then there was no Sephora in Australia. I mean, Sephora is a pretty new thing here. So I also got a mineral foundation as well. And that's kind of like where I started to make my own makeup purchases. It just started from there and then it just snowballed. But I would say it's only in the past 3 years that I have really taken it a little bit more seriously. Yeah, I don't know, I got into makeup really late in my life. And I'm not necessarily sad about it because I think that, as a teenager, I'm glad that I wasn't really, like, looks and makeup and all that wasn't a real priority for me because I definitely think there were more important things at that stage in my life. Did I answer all your questions? When did I start wearing? Why do you enjoy it? It's definitely a massive creative outlet for me and it's an expression of who I am. I don't wear it to impress anyone. I do it because I actually really enjoy it and I enjoy playing with colors and with textures and trying new techniques. If it was a thing that I wasn't enjoying, I wouldn't be doing it now. Next question comes from Ali, who actually won my last giveaway, which is really cool. She said, do you want any more kids and do you enjoy watching cartoons and read? Yes, I do want more kids. I am actually pregnant with my second kid and it's exciting but also a bit scary because I feel like the first time around you have no idea what to expect. The second time around you know what to expect, and therefore you're a little bit scared. I just really did not enjoy labor. And I don't know any woman that really does. I honestly still to this day wish that it was the men that could give birth. I did have a pretty good pregnancy the first time around. I'm having exactly the same symptoms. I'm super tired all the time. I want to go and sleep and nap. That was pretty much during the first trimester. So hopefully it's kind of settling down now. I feel like sleeping is a waste of time. I just feel like if I didn't have to sleep, if my body didn't require sleep, I'd get so much more done. But my body requires it, and so I've been sleeping a lot. I think it'd be nice for Joey to have a sibling, because I had a sibling, and I just think that it was nice to be able to have someone to grow up with. Don't get me wrong, after I had one, I definitely did contemplate, you know, because being a mother is challenging, and it does take a lot of time up in your life, and it can be frustrating at times, and it definitely is draining. You know, I did question maybe one is enough for me, but I guess as Joey grew up a bit more, we kind of decided that we wanted to have another one. This time I'm not gonna say exactly when, because let me tell you, last time I was 10 days overdue, and I was bombarded with text messages. I went insane and had to switch my phone off and switch all my social medias off. It's crazy. That was kind of a big tangent. Anyway, I do like cartoons actually. And when I was growing up, I watched a lot of anime, Bleach, Pokemon, Nana. I do collect comic books as well. So I do have a small curated comic book collection. When I was in France, I did buy a lot of comics as well, and that's kind of how I encouraged myself to keep learning, was by reading in French. It's actually extremely embarrassing to say I have not read a book in one whole year, but prior to that, I was an avid reader. If any of you know Elena Ferrand, she has written the Neapolitan series. It consists of 4 books, and HBO has just picked up that as a series. I am on the last book. I've got half of the book to go, which I've stopped reading a year ago. So I want to finish that book so I can watch the series. Next question is from Amy B Girl, and she asks, how did you meet your husband? Do you have pets? What did you want to be when you were young? How did I meet my husband? It's definitely a story of the 21st century. We actually met through our respective blogs. I had a WordPress, and I think he had a WordPress, or it was a blog spot. I mean, I've been blogging since I was in uni. I probably stopped maybe 3 years ago, pretty much when I started doing my YouTube channel, because I couldn't keep up with both. The purpose of my blog was totally different to the purpose of my YouTube channel. I was doing the 1001 things in 101 days. Basically, it's like a goal setting thing where instead of doing a New Year's resolution, you do 101 goals over the span of 1001 days, which is approximately 2 3/4 years, which they say is kind of a more realistic time span than 1 year. So that blog was to keep my goals accountable. One day, I was looking at my stats, and I was getting heaps of hits from this website. And so I clicked onto the website, and I saw that this guy had written about me. He had said, oh, he was highlighting my blog and saying, this person is a really good writer, you should check out her blog, da da da. And so I was like really taken aback. I was like, wow, that's so nice of this guy to say that. And then I kind of looked at his blog, and he was writing as well. So he was doing short stories, poems, things like that. And then I looked at his photo, and I was like, this guy's not bad looking. He looked really artistic and emo, and he had the long hair, and I don't know, I was just like really curious about him. So we just kind of we started commenting back and forth, and one line turned into, you know, sentences, paragraphs, and then we decided to meet up, and we actually met up for the first time at a life drawing session, which was really fun, but a little bit awkward, but fun. I mean, I do enjoy life drawing, and I remember him sitting so close to me, and I'm thinking, why is this guy sitting so close to me? It's really weird. It was a really crowded room, to be fair. So yeah, later on I found out that he actually discovered my blog through a blogger community called 20 something bloggers back when I was in my 20s. It was kind of like you registered your site, you kind of did a spiel about what your site was about, and people could kind of discover your site and kind of network from there. It's very interesting because his ex-girlfriend made him join that site. So in a way, I have to thank her for making him do that. Otherwise, we probably never would have met. I mean, he lived an hour away from me, so it's not like we naturally would have seeing each other or being in each other's circles. So we started off from there. We started off as friends, and then, you know, obviously later down the track it kind of developed into something more, but he was very persistent. And I'm kind of glad about that, because I am a commitment freak. It's weird as it sounds from someone who's married with a kid. Do you have pets? Yes, I do. I have a dog, Bowie. She is a Labradoodle and she is so cute. She's got a lot of anxiety and she doesn't like really strangers. In fact, it took her a year to allow Joey to pat her, but she is a really gorgeous dog. She's very, very gentle and very loving towards us. She's an absolute perfect fit for our family. What did I want to be when I was young? I wanted to be so many things. I'm gonna be using the Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream palette, by the way, because someone did ask me about it. And I've probably used it maybe twice, 3 times. And so far I do like it. The shimmers are a bit soft for me. The navy is not the best navy I have used. And today I'm gonna kind of do a soft look because Mariam sent me all these Kiko liners. It was so nice of her. Thank you, Mariam, you're awesome. It was such a surprise to receive these at my doorstep, and I want to use one of them today. I'm thinking about doing kind of like a neutral eye and then like a pop of periwinkle in the inner corner, because I saw Angelica do something similar and I think that looked stunning. So I'm gonna try that. What did I want to be when I was young? It's not what I am now, is what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a tennis player. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a solicitor or a lawyer. Then I did work experience at a solicitor's and I hated it. So glad that I did not go down that path. I wanted to be a physio. That was probably one of the more serious professions that I wanted to kind of get into. But luckily I didn't do that because I actually don't really enjoy touching people. So that would have been very awkward as a physio not to touch people when it's kind of required as part of the job description. Andrea asks, I am so inspired by use of color. I would love to know who inspired you and how you grew into your use of color. Well, thank you. I feel like color is something, like bright colors, is something that I kind of developed, I kind of got into later. If you look at the start of my channel, I didn't use that much. I did actually. But on the day-to-day use, I feel like I didn't use it that much. So it was more like I used color for my YouTube channel, but in my day-to-day life, I wasn't really using a whole ton of color. That has changed, and I am definitely more confident with my use of color because I found ways to make it work for me where I don't feel like really garish or really like out there. And I feel like a lot of people have inspired me. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube. I love Lucy Garland's YouTube channel. She does a lot of really crazy drag makeup. Obviously, I've never tried to do a drag makeup look, but I'd like to try actually one day. Angelica Nyqvist has been a big inspiration with her colorful looks. Jkissa, so many people that I watch. Lauren May Beauty with her like pink inner corner eye. I don't know, I think that it comes with confidence because I think color can suit everyone. It's just how you feel about it when you're wearing it. Now, because I am a bit more confident with my technique, more confident with just playing around with color and enjoying it, I am more daring with color. But it has taken time. It's not kind of like an overnight thing. But yeah, I've done a video about how I like to wear color, and I like to inject color in kind of simple and subtle ways, like using it as a liner, on the lower lash line, things like that. Writing Mother Fashionista asks, what do I do for a living? You'd probably be really surprised about what I do because I don't feel like I look like anyone in my profession, but I actually am a personal banker. I, help people with their finances. I give people loans. I pretty much answer their banking needs when they need it. And yeah, it's a very kind of serious job, which is definitely why I need this creative outlet, because there's this creative side to me which I do not get to express at work. There's definitely not many personal bankers out there with blue hair, but I am memorable. What does your husband do? Basically, he's a product developer. He works for a startup, and yeah, I mean, it's nerdy IT stuff, so don't ask me too much more about that. Marta says, happy you're back. My question is, how has your perspective about yourself changed? If it has, in your 30s, I mean, do you feel you gained self-confidence and awareness about you as a person? I'm asking because I'm turning 30 this year and I'm starting to feel like I don't care anymore about pleasing others but putting myself first. Weirdly enough, I've always been a very confident person in the sense that, I mean, when I was young, I was really stubborn and self-defiant. I don't know where it came from. but I pretty much did my own thing. I never backed away from a challenge. There was a period in my life where I did question myself, what am I doing, and like, why am I single? Self-esteem questions, I guess. I moved out of home when I was 19 and lived in the city by myself, with a housemate actually, and then with my sister later. And you know, everyone around me was like, you know, having, you know, all these relationships, and I was single for a very long time. There definitely was a period where I was watching what other people were doing, and I was wondering why those things weren't happening to me. And it's funny because I look at that time now and I think what a blessing in disguise it was that I was single for so long, because maybe had I partnered up or, you know, been in a relationship, a serious relationship, there would have been things I wouldn't have done. Like I wouldn't have traveled as much, and I wouldn't have done my exchange and all that, because I would have felt like I don't want to leave that person, or, you know, had to consider someone else. I was able to be selfish. And so I feel like I'm glad I had that. And I feel like that time in my life definitely helped me grow and allow myself to discover who I am. I think that is important to understand. Like, give yourself time to be selfish, do what you want to do without necessarily consideration with someone else. Obviously, that time in my life has passed. I can't be quite as selfish anymore. I guess, I don't know. I think that the 30s will be just different learnings, because it's, you know, I have a kid now, another one on the way, and it's gonna be about being a bit more selfless. So that's definitely a change in my life from when I was in my 20s, where I could just do whatever I wanted to do. It's not about pleasing other people for me, and not necessarily putting myself first, but kind of putting my family first now at this point in my life. I think I went on a massive tangent. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you're not concentrating on your makeup. I just have this giant massive wing, and I was planning on keeping it really simple, but we're gonna go with it. I have to leave in like 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna quickly scroll through. Mandy asks, if you could choose one palette to try right now, which one would you pick? Not so much a palette. I'm actually super curious on trying those Dawn Eyes Cosmetics pigments. I can't tell you how many times I've literally put them into my cart and then just abandoned my cart because I just couldn't justify the price, especially with our crappy exchange rate right now. And then I kind of think to myself, I have so many loose pigments, I never use them, don't buy it. I much prefer the JD Glow multi-chrome liners, which I think are so stunning, and they're just so easy to use because they're already in liquid form. So yeah, I kind of want to try it, but just haven't. I saw the Colored Rain is releasing a new palette. That looks interesting, but I feel like I've got all the shades in there already, so I'm probably not gonna pick that up. Okay, I just had to quickly get ready because I have to go now. I'm late for work. I'm always late for work when I try and film before work. But I'm sorry I didn't get to answer all of your questions. I'm gonna do a part 2, so if there's any more questions you wanna ask me, please leave them in the comments below or in that community tab thing, and I will answer them. I hope you found this insightful and maybe learned something new that you didn't before. And yeah, I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, and I better get my ass to work before I get fired. See you later.